Welcome to Yoga Biz Studio. Episode, oh wow, I have that blocked. I didn't even see. Episode 42. I still can't believe we've done these many episodes. So sorry. Let me start over. Welcome to Yoga Biz Studio, episode 42, a bi-weekly broadcast of 10 to 30 minutes in length, hosted by me, Keely Mitchell, the owner of Z Living, and my colleague,
Carla Wilson, owner of Wilson Media Services.
On each episode, we share business, legal, and marketing insights for yoga studio owners and independent yoga teachers. We use Google Plus Hangouts on air to produce our show, so you can watch us via Google, YouTube, or our website at yogabizstudio.com. If you're watching our show on YouTube or our website, please click on the yellow graphic at the bottom of the video viewer. This will allow you to access our event page, to ask questions or comment on today's show. And as always, Carla and I always welcome your comments and your insights. We learn so much from our viewers as well. So on today's show, we will be discussing the importance of email marketing for the success of your business. Besides a business website, email marketing is probably the second best marketing strategy for your business.
It's so true, Keely. I wanted to have another marketing discussion today. I think with the end of the school year, so many of us business owners in general typically will have a little more time to focus on their business and concentrate on maybe, more of their marketing. So I thought this might be a timely episode to go back to some of the basic things, talk about email marketing. And sometimes folks get too caught up. When we say marketing, sometimes folks get too caught up on social media. And really, again, the website is the most important piece of your marketing because it's your real estate on the web. And again, that consistent email marketing is the second best marketing strategy for your business.
Carla, I cannot stress enough the importance of email marketing. It is your direct line to communicating with a group of people that are already interested in hearing from you. And that's what I stress to people, why growing your email list is because they're already interested. They want to hear what you have to say. They want to go deeper and further insight with you. So it's a great way to communicate and build. And plus, when you send out an email, they're psyched about you, so they can forward it on, and you can constantly keep getting more and more new fans. You can promote different events that you may be having or participating in, as well as providing, like I said, more in-depth information to help your followers deepen their practice. Understanding the importance of email marketing then helps one to understand the importance of growing one's list. So taking every opportunity to add people to your email contact list is so important, very, very important. And I'll go into that further on, but I'm going to hand it back to Carla.
Yes. And before we go further, I just wanted to remind our viewers, if you're not able to watch this show live, the beautiful thing about Hangouts on Air is that if you're watching this after the fact, you can still ask us questions. And I learned that things were changed just a bit. So if you are watching this show via our event page, there is a little tiny grid at the top toolbar. And if you click on it, it shows two things, either the showcase, which are some URLs of website addresses that we're talking about on the show. And we're going to have a few for you there today. Or the other block is question and answer. And you are more than welcome to ask us questions, again, even if it's after the fact, because we are notified when questions are posted there and we can reply to you. And that's really important to us because we want to be providing content or answer the questions that you have, especially about email marketing. So let's jump back into that conversation. Your marketing, your mailing list is your book of business. Like a hair salon has a book of business. Lawyers have a book of business. Businesses have a book of business. This is your contact base. It's helpful for business planning. And even if you're not in that mode right now, one day you might be considering selling your yoga business. So you want to be able to have something concrete that says, I have 900 people on my email marketing list. I mean, it's really more valuable than you might believe. But let's first talk about mistakes that people make when sending emails, because we want you to avoid them. Please, for all that is good and holy in the world, please do not ever send an email newsletter via your personal email account and or maybe a special email address that you set up just for your business. So I'm talking about do not send email from your Gmail account, your AOL, Hotmail, or any other ISP through whom you might have an email account. And you might be saying to me, well, what's the problem with that? So we're going to cover 5 reasons right now. The first problem with doing that is you're sending a commercial email. And even, yeah, you know, I know you might be considering yourself, oh, this is just a simple email. It's a commercial email. You are a business. You're sending commercial email. And if you've got a big list of people that you're sending an email to through your personal account, typically you have to kind of batch them. You know, you can't just like copy and paste 100 email addresses into maybe the CC or please, the BCC field of an email. And you're sending them out in batches. But what happens is your ISP, your internet service provider, is saying, hey, this is kind of odd. This person's sending hundreds and hundreds of emails out of their account. And the problem is you're in danger of having your email account shut down because in their terms, you're a spammer. So we want you to not send email newsletters via your personal or work email address. When you send an email newsletter through your regular email account, there is the possibility that that email is going to go directly into the spam folder of the recipient. And it's because email accounts are set up for personal correspondence, not really newsletters. And sometimes it just ends up there, especially if you are doing this on a regular basis where you're batching out all of these emails. The recipient's email account might very well just dump it right into the spam folder. Here's the third mistake that happens when you use your regular or work email address to send out your email newsletters. You really have no way of knowing if that email was actually delivered to the recipient. Or you also don't know how many people opened that email. And those are important metrics. I mean, you really kind of want to start looking at those measurements and those analytics and have that ability because you want to know that the content you're sending out is what your audience wants to read. And if you have that ability to know how many people received the email, how many people opened it, that can really give you a gauge of, you know, is the content I'm sharing what they really want? Or, you know, not too many people seem to be opening this email. Maybe I need to be sharing information in a different way. So here's the fourth mistake that people make with their email marketing. Typically, within your email account, Gmail or Hotmail or AOL, you don't have an easy way to set up a nice template that can match your font, your colors, put a logo in there, and make it look really nice so that when it ends up in the recipient's email box, you know, it looks nice and it matches your branding and people know who it's from. Because again, personal email accounts are not set up to be sending emails of that fashion. But as you know, when you get email newsletters yourself, when it's laid out nicely, it matches the colors of the person from whom it came, you know who it came from, and it's easy to read, and you know how nice that looks. So that's something else that is not available to you if you're trying to send email newsletters via your personal or work email address. So here's lastly, the important mistake that you need to avoid in email marketing. And that is if you are sending emails out via your personal or work email address, you really have, you're not giving the recipient the opportunity to even opt into your mailing list, nor are you giving them the opportunity to unsubscribe from the list. And right there is a violation of the CAN-SPAM Act. So that's something that Keely's going to go into dive a little deeper into that subject, but we want you to avoid that. Right, Keely?
Definitely. And Carla, I am so rubbing off on you because you are bringing up legal stuff. Good for you. Thumbs up. I'm in shock right now. But since you brought up the CAN-SPAM Act, that allows me to toss in my 2 cents of legal advice for this episode. You know, I generally have to get it in. So yes, it is important to grow your list. Carla and I will stress that constantly, grow your email list. However, you must do it legally. You cannot just add a whole bunch of people to your list without their permission. Therefore, I suggest you have an email sign-up sheet for your studio or your individual classes. So it's either when people are coming into class, you can let them know, hey, you have a sign-up sheet here. They can sign up before or after class if they want to learn more about what you're doing, where you'll be teaching classes, or just to learn more about the practice of yoga. At the same time, if you are a studio owner, you can have it on your website when they walk into the studio, while they're maybe registering for a class, or able to give you their email address. Even if you are an independent yoga instructor, you know, Carla and I always say you should have a website. So even on your website, you should have a place where you can capture people's email so that you can add them to the list and everything. And the main thing about that is just make sure that there's something that says like, hey, you have proof that you have their permission. So on the top of it, of your list, if it's in a class, just say, you know, they give permission for you to email them newsletters or updates about what's going on with your business or the classes that you're teaching. And the same thing can be on your website. So CAN-SPAM Act is really big on that. They want you to have permission of the people you're emailing, because outside of that, people are going to feel like you're spamming them. And we all know how that feels when you just get a random email that you didn't even have any connection to the person who sent it. You're wondering why you got it, and you're trying to figure out how to get off the list. So you don't want people having those same feelings about you when they receive your email.
Right, exactly. And Keely, I just wanted to jump in here really quickly and remind folks that even though we're concentrating on email marketing today, I wanted to remind you that if you have a Facebook business page, you now have the opportunity to put your newsletter sign-up link on your cover page. It's actually one of the little options. If you navigate to your Facebook business page, it's at the bottom right of your cover photo. And I believe before you enable it, it says something like, click here to enable a call to action. So you can either have people sign up for your newsletter or do some other kind of call to action. But I just wanted to remind people that's another way that you can get folks to sign on to your newsletter.
Excellent advice, Carla. And always feel free to jump in anytime. You know, I don't care. Now I have a few more points concerning the specifics about the CAN-SPAM Act that you need to be aware of. So I'm going to give you a quick rundown of what else you need to know about this law. So we already had covered, you know, don't just randomly add people to your list. You should have their permission. You also don't want to give false or misleading header information. And what I mean by that is your from, to, reply to, you know, those sections on your email should include the originating domain name or an email address. It must accurately identify the person who is sending the email. So don't like put in some fake name or something that's misleading. You know, I think for the longest time I used to get stuff from like PayPal, but it was like a fake PayPal email address. So, but they'll try and make it sound like PayPal Resolution Center to kind of grab your attention. Don't do stuff like that. Be honest, put your original email address in there where it's originating from. If you don't want it going to your personal email, you might be able to set up like info at whatever your business name is, so that you kind of have a catch-all email box that if anyone responds to the newsletter, it will go in there so you're not bombarded on a regular basis at your personal email. Number two, don't have deceptive subject lines. Subject lines must accurately reflect the content of your message. So don't have something in there that is very deceiving. I remember, and I think we talked about it on another show, Carla, where I had received an email about yoga in the nude or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And it was clearly designed to get my attention, to open it up and be like, what is this? It had nothing to do with that. I was thinking of like, you know, yoga practice at nude beaches or something, or yoga practice, some new health thing of why you should do yoga in the nude. I don't know, but it had nothing to do with that. So you don't want people having that frustration too, that when they open up your email, it is not accurately labeled and they're thinking they're opening up something else. Number three, identify the message as an ad And that goes along if you're sending out something that, hey, you're asking people, sign up now and get, buy one, get one free on a yoga class. Make sure they understand what it is when they open it up. You're a business, so accurately identify if it's an ad. On the same token, if it's your newsletter and you're just providing information that way, make sure you identify that it's a newsletter. You don't want to be, once again, misleading people. Another thing CAN-SPAM Act requires is that you tell recipients where you're located. Your message must include a valid physical postal address, which is easy. If you have your own yoga studio, you can just use that address. A P.O. box just registered with the U.S. Postal Service is sufficient as well, or you can use a private mailbox. You've registered to receive commercial mail as well. So it just has to be a legitimate location, and you don't have to use your personal address. You can use something else. That's why they say post office boxes are okay. Also, number 5, tell recipients how to opt out of receiving future email from you. Carla had raised this issue. As much as you want them to opt in and sign up for your newsletter, if they're not interested in receiving your newsletter anymore, you got to give them the ability to opt out of it. Your message must include a clear and conspicuous explanation of how the recipient can opt out of getting your emails. And the biggest thing is you have to honor it. You can't have them like opt out and then don't respond, or you don't take them off the list. And that leads us into number 6. You have to honor opt-out requests promptly. CAN-SPAM Act generally says you must honor a recipient's opt-out request within 10 business days. So that's about a good 2.5 weeks that you have to respond. You can't charge them a fee for opting out, anything like that. You just have to honor it and just cut your losses. And I've had it too on my emails. It's sad. Yes, sometimes you get the little message someone has opted out, but at the same time, you can have someone joining on at this. So it kind of balances each other, everything out. Also, the last thing I want to bring to everyone's attention, this is my number 7. If you hand over these duties to someone else, say you hire whoever, maybe the person who does your website, they also send out your newsletters, or you just hire a college kid to do the newsletters, please monitor what they're doing. Although you have someone else doing the work for you, it is your business and you're held liable if any of the CAN-SPAM Act is violated. So you can't just say, hey, someone else was doing this for me. You have to be monitoring it and making sure they're following the law. So that's very, 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 very important. And lastly, I just want to let everyone know, violating this law can be very hefty. Each separate email in violation of the CAN-SPAM Act is subject to penalties of up to $16,000. So yeah, so just imagine, even if you have a small list of 20 people, imagine 20 times 16,000 is a lot of money. So you really, really don't want to ignore this law. You want to make sure you're following it very, very well. And also this law, for those who are extreme violators, also can be jail time. So the last thing you want to do is get hit with fines and end up in jail because you just refuse to follow the email rules.
Yes.
It's not worth it.
Right. Not worth it. No.
So not at all. So I just want to tell everyone, grow your list. Become an email marketing maven, but I want you to all do it legally.
Yes, absolutely. And just to piggyback on something you said, Keely, yes, it is a bummer when someone unsubscribes from your list, but again, you have to remember, some folks have too much email and they don't want to read an email, so they are absorbing your content some other way. So don't get too freaked out if someone needs to unsubscribe from your newsletter list. So let me jump back in here. So we keep saying, do not use your personal or work email address to send newsletters. So what do we suggest we do? Well, we suggest you open an account with an email marketing provider. This is something that they do for businesses. I personally use MailChimp, and I suggest that for a lot of my clients. But you also have other providers like Constant Contact, iContact. There are 2 others, Vertical Response, another one called Emma. I'm certain there's dozens more, quite honestly, that I just don't have familiarity with. But They are out there. But the beautiful thing about MailChimp for business owners is this. It's free to use for up to 2,000 contacts. I will repeat that. It's free to use for up to 2,000 contacts. I'm going to have links to MailChimp and some of these other providers in the showcase for you in just a moment. So I just wanted to make you aware that there are email marketing providers out there that will, number one, take the time, knowing that it's a free, take the time to open the account with them. And then, with an account like this, you will have the opportunity to allow folks to opt into your list. You will allow folks the opportunity to unsubscribe from your list if you want. And also, these providers have tons of templates that you can use that will even adjust for mobile-friendly viewing, that will allow you to upload your logo, match your colors, match your fonts, make it look like your brand, make it look professional. And because they're email marketing providers, it's not always perfect, but there's a much better chance of the emails coming from an email marketing provider getting delivered correctly into someone's inbox and not getting pushed off to spam somewhere. So you'll know, the other great thing about these email marketing providers is that they provide metrics and analytics for you. So you will know how many people opened the email. I should say how many people were delivered the email and how many people opened it. And this, friends, is how you do email marketing correctly, by using a tool that was specifically built to do so. So don't feel as a business owner you're trying to save money, that you've got to try and reinvent the wheel and manually create something. There are tools out there for free that will allow you to get the work done and allow you to build your email marketing list.
Caller, I think we are really giving our viewers some great information about email marketing. So what else do you have? I know you probably got something else up your sleeve.
Yeah, I think the last thing I want to offer is a suggestion. And that is, some folks will ask me, how often should I send emails to my contacts? And, as usual, my answer is, it depends. People will ask me this, and my answer is, it depends. So again, this is one of those situations where I will defer to that answer. However, some businesses have, their business requires almost that they're sending emails once a week to tell people about sales or programs or something that they're offering. But usually for Yoga Studio, I suggest twice a month. That gives you 2 opportunities to reach out and tell them maybe you've got an updated class schedule because of an upcoming holiday, or it gives you an opportunity to tell them about upcoming events that you have at the studio. And the nice thing is that when you build that kind of consistency in the type of messages that you are delivering with the emails, people know what you're sending is not spam, and they know that you're just basically just getting in touch with them to give them a heads up about something. So, it's not your intention to spam anybody, so don't do it. I guess the great thing about it is when you are sending consistent emails and you're sending consistent information in those emails, your open rates are going to increase as well. So again, use the analytics that the email marketing provider has for you so that can help you determine what information will go out in your newsletters.
Carla, great advice. To our viewers, we hope you enjoyed our discussion this morning, and maybe you maybe you have more to add. So feel free to comment on our blog or other social channels on Facebook and Twitter and Google Plus at Yoga Biz Studio. Please feel free to message us with questions or show ideas. We really do look at that and get ideas from you. So if you raise a great question, it might turn into an episode. So you can email us at yogabizstudio@gmail.com. Of course, the website is yogabizstudio.com. And as I I already said, you can find us on Facebook and Twitter and Google Plus at Yoga Biz Studio. Join us for our next episode, which will be Thursday, July 2nd at 10 a.m. We're getting it in before everyone scatters for July 4th barbecues. We will be discussing how to organize yoga retreats abroad, and we are hoping to have a special guest join us for the discussion. And like I said, we take ideas from our viewers. This is one that's coming from one of our viewers based on a question we had. So Carla and I thought it was a great time to revisit the topic and have a discussion.
Exactly. And I think, we would be remiss if we had an episode about email marketing and we didn't tell folks, go to our website and sign up for our email newsletter. We send it out once a month, one time a month. And it's a roundup of our blog posts as well as some yoga events. And not only that, when you sign up for our newsletter, we have 2 special reports for free that you can download. So just wanted to make everybody aware of that. So thank you again to our audience for joining us today. Our Yoga Biz Studio is brought to you bi-weekly by Keely Mitchell of Z Living, and also by me, Carla Wilson, owner of Wilson Media Services. So until our next episode, everyone, namaste.
Namaste.